So today, I think it's only just me and Alexis. Yeah. So yeah, this will be a new format which will be actually slightly longer by each individual traders so that we can actually interact with whatever questions that you have. And then hopefully it will be much more informative. So without further ado, let me go to what I usually do. All right. So I think what the last I presented was either early January or was it late last year? Yeah, whichever that is, I think the fundamentals have changed quite a fair bit, especially with the US dollar. Yeah, so if you have been keeping up with the news, is that especially for all of you who trade, any of you who trade S&P 500, is that most of the traders or investors have already priced in, surprisingly, they have actually priced in that the Feds will actually lower the rates. Yeah, the Fed won't continue raising the rates, especially with all the data that comes out that supports. Now, the Fed actually comes out and say that, nope, they are not going to do that. And in fact, they might actually raise it all the way, continue the momentum all the way to 6%. So, and that's why you can see from the weekly chart of DXY, you have a very huge engulfing bar. Yeah, it's not just engulfing bar, engulfing bar, and the momentum might actually continue on upwards with the new, which what the Fed has done is actually against what the market expect. They might just continue raising. Yeah, so if they are still continuing their message, they're going to telegraph this. They have telegraphed this way ahead. Yeah, so the market is going, I suppose, is going through some sort of a rebalancing act. Now, with that, I've raised my expectation. The DXY, which will still be this, which will, ironically, 1 month back, I've actually, which I think it should be this bar. Yeah, so I suspect that you actually weakened all the way to $100. Now, with the Fed announcement, I'm wrong. Revisit, it might just actually continue back up to 110. Yeah, so I don't know whether you really do that, but there's a good chance that it will still strengthen. Yeah, a 1% increment is no joke from 5 to 6%, especially any of you who is holding on to any housing loans. Yeah. And again, I can't really say that the world is in a very nice place right now with all sorts of the natural disaster and the war still ongoing. Yeah. So pay hit is that DXY. I revise it. Of all the currencies, I think the dollar will still be the best currency to have a long trade as of now. Yeah. Now follow strictly. Other than the dollar, which I think clear cut is there's a long trade going on. The next on my list, now this I'm not so clear, which is the Japanese index. Now Japanese index, again, when we see from all the way to October, it seems to be in an uptrend. Yeah. So now we have actually I would say a small bar, indecision bar. Yeah. But on Monday, Tuesday, if it actually clears this area, then I would say the yen will continue to strengthen. Simple as that. If it doesn't, that means the yen for now, I won't be trading on Monday or Tuesday until it has a clear cut bullish momentum that is going to continue on. Otherwise, I will leave it out. But in terms of the ranking, yen will actually be the second best currency to hold for a long trade. Now, other than dollar and yen, the Canadian index, I'm just going to outright say that I don't know where it really wants to go, because again, this is more of a fundamental currency. Yeah, so too much is going on, and there isn't really any clear-cut technical direction that it wants to go. So I'm going to just rank it as neutral. Other than that uncertainty, the rest is just the Swiss, the Aussie, the Kiwi, British pound, euro. I'll just short them. Yeah, technically wise, it has already indicated that it wants to go short. It just doesn't want, especially for the Swiss, it just doesn't seem to be able to clear the 110. You can see that from the past, it did clear for a while and then back down. And then it just gives us a continuous lower high. And recently, you can just see this big, huge, ugly spike, retest the second time and third time. So Swiss is just not going to break 110, and we can comfortably short it. Again, please, when I say comfortably short it, you just go in blindly. Go in with some of your usual setups. Yeah, wouldn't really get too wrong with that. The Aussie index, again, very, very nice. Again, you can see that this top here, I'm not going to call it a double top, but clear cut, right? The $70 line is having some sort of interaction with it. Yeah, bullish engulfing bar, added a high test bar. I think the signal is strong enough for us to trade low. Yeah, but how low it will go, I wouldn't want to make a prediction, but it do have some space that we can actually trade low. Next is the Kiwi index. Now, being the same as a commodity pair, it has the same outlook, right? Spike up, retest, bullish engulfing bar, and then now the Kiwi, technically it has a bit more clearance down to the $60. Yeah, so if any of you want to go for a longer play, 3:1 all the way to 5:1, go ahead. I think this would be actually a much more safer bet to go in. And then what I think is the two weakest pair would actually be the British pound and the Euro index. Yeah, this is just one nice looking level for us to short at 122. You can see that price has actually retested this level several times. Yeah. So, and this has a lot of clearance for us to go down, especially the Euro. Yeah, it just refused to clear the 110, which is a major level, and then it gapped down. Yeah, this to me is actually a short term. Yeah, a safer bet would actually be to wait for it. There's actually a small gap here. A safer bet would actually be wait for it to clear. But for those who are more aggressive, by the way, these are all weekly charts. So if you're trading a daily or especially H4, which are primarily trade at, just wait for a lower high, lower low. Just safe to go in. Yeah. So as such, Lexus need power. Lexus. While Sam gives you power. Now these are some of the pairs which I'm going to actually trade. The first top of my list is just the euro dollar. Now euro dollar is actually a very slow moving pair. I mean, this is one of the heavily traded pairs, so it doesn't have those insane spike up and down. But on saying that, when it trends, it actually does trend very, very nicely to trade. It's a very, very trendy, nice looking trendy pair to trade, just like a omen. I'm saying myself. So when price actually breaks this level, and in fact, you can see that price did break already. This is really quite a nice bullish break on the H4 chart. Previously, you can see that there was a nice rejection. Price tried to go up. Very, very nice bullish break. I'm just now, in all honesty, we can actually start to trade this inside bar on Monday morning. Just have a stop loss above the high of this ridiculously large looking bar, and then we can actually go for a 3:1. Now, for those of you who actually wish to have a safer entry, again, wait for any price action that rejects this level. It can be a high test bar or another engulfing bar. Go in. Yeah, as long as it respects this level, I think we are pretty safe. Next is Kiwi dollar. Now this is actually interesting. Usually I don't have a TP1, TP2. I just go for a straight take profit. And if I think the trade is going to run, I will throw my stop loss. In fact, I don't have a take profit level. Now on H4 chart for the Kiwi dollar, what I think is that price will break this level, and I just cannot ignore this particular horizontal level. Especially it did reject twice in the past. So I'm just waiting for the Kiwi dollar to clear this level. It hasn't cleared yet. Yeah, I'm just waiting for a short trade to happen, and then I'll be trading down. Now on that, I still think that the Kiwi dollar actually have ample space to travel down. So what I'm going to do there is that if this trade ever trigger, I'm just waiting for again a high test for engulfing body. I'll be happy to take this. Once it happens, I'll jump into this trade. I'll place a take profit once at about 0.621 level, and then from then on, I'll see where it goes. Yeah. When I say TP1, I will usually take half off the table, and then I will throw my stop. Not a very often move which I do that. I don't particularly like it, but when the situation calls for it, I would do it. Now, the pound dollar, again, very same sentiment. In fact, you can see that price actually broke this level. Now, I do not have 1:1 to trade down to this level. Hence, I'm not quite comfortable trading it. In fact, I'll just wait for price to actually further travel down, break this very obvious trend line looking thing, and the horizontal level. This is where I'll be looking for the trade. Yeah. So it's sort of like, for Singaporean, we will say double confirmation. Yeah. So you can see all of it, I'm actually long the dollar and short all the other stuff. Yeah. Japanese yen, I'm adopting a wait and see approach. Yeah. The last on my list, which interestingly, the USD SGD. Now the last, on my personal side, when I try to actually exchange some currencies, I'm waiting for price to break the 1.45 level. Sadly, it didn't happen. I didn't change my US currency. Now, with the new outlook that comes in, you can see that price actually bottoms out, have a higher low. Yeah. And it's actually more obvious on the daily charts. Yeah. So I'm actually prepared fully to go in already. We have a test bar, tested the horizontal level with a engulfing bar. Now, for a daily chart, I think we already have a 3:1 before it actually reaches the high. But again, for those of you who are aiming for a higher risk to reward, this is what I suggest. Go down to the H4. You can see the H4 clearances. Again, just wait for either for price to actually clear this. You can go in, or the next higher low, you can go in, same thing. Or if you're a bit ambitious, in fact, we can actually place a trade, which what I've drawn out on the chart, and we can revise our stop loss to over here. So you can see once I do that, we already have a 5.34 risk to rewards. Yeah. So this is what I'm gearing up for USD SGD. I do know that Alexis actually traded quite a fair bit on USD SGD, and perhaps we shall wait and see what's her analysis for this. Right, Alexis.